Certainty of death? Small chance of success. What are we waiting for?
Fellas, I feel this is my lucky day.
Brilliant.
Hey, and welcome to another episode of Rankum. We're talking about Brendan Fraser movies. And got a great bunch of people here. Got Chris. Chris, how's it going?
Going good. Brendan Fraser, I do respect and appreciate a lot. Even when he in bad movie, I do like him a lot as actor. So he'd have fun talking about it. I do like in both TV and movies.
Also here we've got Zachary Shelton. Zachary, how's it going?
Good. This is my first one since I think the beginning of the year, so happy to be back.
And last but not least, we've got Chris. Chris, how's it going?
Yep, the two Chris's again. Yeah, looking forward to this. I give you Chris Diaz. Even if the movie's not great, Brendan Fraser's always lovable. So it's going to be a good time. Getting to appreciate a good man.
But if that how ranking works is we go around and each nominated movie we think belongs on a top 12 list. Because we've got an even amount of people on the panel, it's going to come down to the other three people whether it makes the list. The person nominating their vote kind of won't count towards this. But yeah, but it is what it is. I tried to get another person, but a lot of people are busy. But with Chris, what is the first Brendan Fraser movie you're going to bring up?
So I did shoot my shot for this. This is a movie I watched specifically for this that everybody told me to check out. I did bring up God and Monster, the one he did with Ian McKellen, about the director of Frankenstein and his kind of friendship he formed with Brendan Fraser. Brendan Fraser played his lawnmower man, taking care of the house a little bit. It's a really good movie, a little creepy at times, but it's too well acted by Ian McKellen, who deserved the Oscar nomination for it. He should have won that year, honestly. And Brendan Fraser. And the back and forth they had, there's some really funny moments. They had a great, funny cameo. They actually playing Princess Margaret in the party scene. It's just a really sweet, interesting movie about the director of Frankenstein, the Bride of Frankenstein. Honestly, one of Brendan Fraser's better movie.
Zachary, what do you say about Gods and Monsters?
I haven't seen it, so I can't judge it that much. So for right now, I'm just going to say no.
Chris, what do you say about Gods and Monsters?
Well, we talked before the show about there was one I was trying to find to rewatch. I could not find it online. It is low on my list because I remember enjoying it and Brendan Fraser was good in it. So I'm going to say yes for now. Yeah. It's one of his few dramatic roles that I've seen he is really good in. From what I remember, that is a long time ago.
Yeah, it's not on the list. I haven't seen it.
Hey, we gave acknowledgement to it. That I liked it.
Look, it's definitely worth a watch.
When I initially made my Brendan Fraser list on Letterboxd, I'd only seen about 13 movies. I managed to add some extra ones this week, but yeah. Zach, what's your first movie you're going to bring up?
I'm going with a very popular one, The Mummy. The first one from the 90s. It has a lot of great action and a lot of great fun and just overall entertaining.
Chris, what do you say about The Mummy?
I mean, this was going to be on anyone's list, wasn't it, really? It's just a great fun action movie. It's like Indiana Jones, but taking out any sense of seriousness whatsoever. Not that Indiana Jones wasn't stupid, but this just goes balls to the wall, nuts. And it was filmed on location in Morocco as well. So props to that. Actually filming on location, they're not just doing it on a set with tons of CGI. So yeah, definitely 100%.
Yeah, The Mummy was going to be an easy yes for me as well. This is definitely one of my favorite movies of his. I rewatched it recently this year, just because I wanted to, and it still holds up. So yeah, it's an easy yes. Chris, what do you say about The Mummy?
Yeah, for me as well. I actually do love The Mummy. Who knows, we might be up to the second one later, but I do love the first two Mummy.
But Chris, what is your first nomination?
I've got two that I want to go with, but I'm going to go for the first one I ever saw with Brendan Fraser, and that's California Man / Encino Man, depending where you're from. I just remember seeing an advert for this in the back of a comic one day and going, "Yeah, this looks fun." And it's a fish out of water movie with Brendan. He barely does any speaking, I think, in it. I think he has like 5 or 10 lines or something. And no matter what anyone says, I think Pauly Shore is funny. So,
Yeah, I've heard all about Encino Man. I watched it for the first time for this. It's fine. It's on the lower end of my Brendan Fraser movie, but just because there's a couple that I really don't want to get on here, I'm going to give a hesitant yes to Encino Man. Diaz, what do you say about Encino Man?
I did see that because I went between two Brendan Fraser comedy that I know people have soft spot for. I went with the other one, and I almost done with that. So I'm saying no to Encino Man because I haven't seen it.
Zach, what do you say about Encino Man?
This is a yes because this is another one that was actually on my list. So I'm going to say yes.
In fact, Encino Man does make this list.
I tried to look at for all the good Brendan Fraser movies that I haven't seen. That wrong.
I mean, movies like case of as all subjective, so it's like what people may think is not good, but anyway.
I enjoyed the other one comedy that might be brought up.
I get the feeling I know what one you're talking about.
But anyway, it's on to me, and I'm going for arguably his most recent role that he did, which isn't the rail, because I'm not going that recent. I'm going. This is the one that people realised that Brendan Fraser was kind of big, and it's No Sudden Move from 2021. This is one I watched for the first time, because I've heard a lot about this, and it's such a good. It's really good. Like, it's one of those when it comes to those kind of mob movies. Like, sometimes I can find it can meander, and my mind trails, but this is one that kept my interest all the way through. It's just really good. I think Brendan Fraser is good. Like, Brendan Fraser is really good when he's takes up serious roles. Like, it's something about comedic actors taking out drama is like it's somehow works. I don't know why, but Chris, what do you say about No Sudden Move?
So this is one of 3 movies I've watched for this list. I really like this movie a lot. I'm a huge Cheetah Survivor fan. I think Don Cheadle really good, Del Toro really good, Fraser's really good, even though he's not in it a lot. Matt Damon is really good in a very small role. I didn't realize he would really pop up in the film. Like, it's an intense movie. There's funny moments here and there. Ray Liotta is really good in the movie. He kind of get what he deserved to the end a little bit. Same with John Hammond. Everybody does a great job. Film a really good movie, and nobody check out on HBO Max. I really did enjoy it a lot more than respecting to.
Zach, what do you say about No Sudden Move?
I've actually haven't heard of it, and so I haven't seen it. But based on your description, I'll give it a yes, because maybe it's one I want to check out. So.
And Chris, what do you say about No Sudden Move?
Same as Zach. I haven't seen it.
Zach,
probably going to have to give it a tentative yes, just because otherwise we're going to end up with a really short list. So yeah, put a yes on it for now. I've seen the picture of him in the big trench coat. It looks quite cool. So
yeah. But Diaz, we go back to you for your next nomination.
So let's get out of the way. George in the Jungle. Well, yeah, George in the Jungle. One of the most classic roles that people know him for. Tom Hayden Church hysterical. Like, man, it's hysterical. Fun, stupid movie, but it is fun and funny as hell. Like, him catching the tree so much. The stuff in Las Vegas and everything. It's a fun movie. Like, I had to bring this up. It's what makes Brendan Fraser one of his more classic roles.
Zach, what do you say about George of the Jungle?
So to me, I'm going to give it a yes, and probably because I kind of compare this a little bit to The Mummy in terms of like it's a stupid fun movie that if you just want to be entertained, just put this on and it'll make you happier. So for me, that's a yes.
Chris, what do you say about George of the Jungle?
Yeah, it's kind of yes for me. Didn't like it the first day. I thought it was absolutely stupid and pointless and immature. And then every time I watch it now, I go, "That's what's brilliant about it." It's just stupid and fun.
Yeah, George of the Jungle is one of those movies that I grew up with as a kid, and this is just one that stuck with me. And I mean, I rewatched it for this. I didn't need to, but I wanted to rewatch it because I hadn't seen it in a while. So, and it's just a lot of fun. And yeah, who knows what George of the Jungle 2 could have been if he had come back for it.
Probably a lot better.
I mean,
Could still happen. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't hate George of the Jungle 2, but he's not in it, so we're not really talking about it.
I didn't even know there was a second one.
Zach, what's next movie you're going to bring up?
There's a lot of good choices. I'm going to go with actually a movie that I actually saw for the first time this year, and it's maybe it's a little bit of an underrated movie, but Blast from the Past.
Chris, what do you say about Blast from the Past?
Yep, this was actually one of the ones that I rewatched today to try and see how much I remembered. The cover and the trailer for this movie is very misleading, but it's just a very sweet rom-com. And I forgot Nathan Fillion was in it, playing the asshole boyfriend, which was just nice to see. So yeah, it's a yes for me.
Oh shit, there was Nathan Fillion. But yeah, this is one that I might have seen back when it first came out. I'm not sure, but I actually watched it for the first time this year, especially for this list. And yeah, this was a good movie. It's really one of those. It's a really great rom-com and a lot of fun. I really enjoyed Christopher Walken as the dad in this.
I forgot Christopher Walken as Sissy Spacek. We're the mum and dad.
Also, that homeless guy that thinks that they're God every time they come out the elevator. It's just very funny and a lot of fun. So yeah, just make sure to stay away from the adult bookstore with poison gas. But Blast from the Past gets a yes from me. Diaz, what do you say about Blast from the Past?
It was next on my list to watch because I was going to like a movie that people would consider good. I just didn't get around to watching it. But on my list, right next on my computer watch.
But Chris, what's the next movie you're going to bring up?
This is another one I had rewatched today, not because I had to, just because I wanted to. It's Airheads.
That's the one.
It's not only Brendan Fraser is brilliant in it, it's got such a absolutely stacked cast. It's him, Steve Buscemi, Adam Sandler playing the main characters, Joe Mantegna playing the radio DJ, Ernie Hudson is the cop, Harold Ramis makes a guest appearance, Judd Nelson. It's such a stacked cast. It's just such a fun, good time. And let me go in. I played D&D too.
Yeah, this is one I also watched for the first time this week. I liked it slightly better than Encino Man, but I just I still didn't get a lot of enjoyment out of this. Like, it was fine. It did a couple of funny moments. But once again, I'm going to give this a slight yes because there's a few that I just don't want to make this list. Diaz, what do you say about your heads?
That was the comedy that I mentioned in the middle of watching. It's just stupid, but it's funny. Like the stuff with the negotiator that laughing so hard, like when the one guy tried to take over and he just telling about they leave him, and he's telling the underwear leave on the floor, and everything. It's just like, and I don't like Adam Sandler movie, but it's one of his more funniest stupid one. I actually did some enjoyment out. Everything is funny. I can't wait to finish watching it. I am laughing a good amount. And Steve Buscemi and Brendan Fraser really do good with the dry humor in the film. They bring much of a laugh.
And Zach, what do you say about Airheads?
It's funny because it was on my list, and it was probably going to be the next one I was actually going to mention anyway. So I give it a yes.
Airheads makes the list.
These are for California, man. Not me.
So, I'm gonna bring this one up. Just it's a little bit low. It's a bit lower on my movies I want to bring up, but I feel like if I don't bring it up, no one else is. So I'm gonna bring up Looney Tunes Back in Action. Look, this is the better of the live action animation hybrids. I prefer this over both Space Jams. And yeah, like Brendan Fraser's got such a great rapport with he's working with like the likes of Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, and all that. It was just even him with Jenna Elfman. It's just really good. Steve Martin as the villain, you can take him or leave him. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. The first time I saw this, it was like, wait, that's Steve Martin. What the hell's he done with his hair? But
yeah, interesting to add about Don Cheadle in Space Jam 2. Let's just
I mean, you could still tell it was Don Cheadle in Space Jam 2.
But what Steve type Martin, of performance they
that rig that Steve Martin had was just horrendous. But anyway,
I'm not going to.
But anyway, D has what do you say about Looney Tunes Back in Action?
This one next one would me up. That's the only Looney Tunes live action stuff I like. I don't like Space Jam 1 and 2 at all. I do enjoy this movie. Is it stupid? Yet. Is it funny? Yes, it's funny. Timothy Dalton playing Brendan Fraser's dad. It's kind of like, what? But it makes sense. The cameos are funny. The Daffy Duck stuff is really funny. Especially him trying to be the hero. Everything that whole stuff like really funny. That leads to some funny stuff at the end. And Brendan Fraser playing himself at the end, getting punched out by the character he playing. They're funny. Walt Pullman cameo is really funny. Like, oh god, like I did stuff in this movie that made me laugh so hard. Like, I watched it with my girlfriend. It's the only one out of the three I enjoy watching.
But Zach, what do you say about Looney Tunes Back in Action?
It's funny because it was probably going to be an honorable mention for me because it hadn't made my list because it had been so long since I had seen it. So, but because it was going to be possibly an honorable mention, I'm going to say yes to it because it was one I definitely remember, but it had been a while since I had seen it.
And Chris, what would you have said about Looney Tunes Back in Action?
I'm going to be the dissenting voice here and say no, but that's purely based on the fact that I don't remember much about it. And I will not stand for the Space Jam slander. Looney Tunes Back in Action does not have Bill Murray.
Hey, when the best thing in the movie is when they criticizing the Scooby-Doo live action movie.
I will definitely watch it again.
Character attacking Matthew Lillard, perfect joke in the movie.
But anyway, Diaz, we go back to you. What's your next nomination?
Yeah, they try to keep the good stuff going here. I try to bring it to my movie turn. Yeah, okay. The raw CGI is awful, but is it a fun action movie like this first one? Yes, it is. It's fun. It's entertaining. It's just what you want in a fun movie. Like, and just Brendan Fraser, everybody work off so well each other. I like the mythology they add to it. Despite the crappy CGI, they like the mythology the Scorpion they added to the film. I thought it fascinating. It's fun. It's cheesy. The little creature running with the dynamite, like Snow White high ho thing, is one of the most cheated jokes that made me laugh. Had to be out my movie 10.
Zach, what do you say about The Mummy Returns?
I'm gonna say yes. It's not one of the ones on my list, but that doesn't mean it's a bad movie. It's still a very enjoyable movie, and so I'm gonna say yes.
Chris, what do you say about The Mummy Returns?
Yeah, I'm going to say yes. It was next to my list after The Mummy and above Blast from the Past. And I did actually argue, I think I enjoyed this one more than the first one, which might put me in the minority, but yeah, there you go. Yep, definitely yes.
I mean, I've definitely heard people say that as well. You're definitely not in the minority. I mean, it's made list regardless. I was actually going to go a hesitant no on this, just because I wanted to try and I would have wanted to try and get some variety on this. Not that it's bad that we got two from the same franchise on here. Yeah. But Zach, what's the next movie you're going to bring out?
I'm gonna go for one that's kind of not a comedy, but I still feel it's a really good action movie, and that's Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Chris, what do you say about Journey to the Center of the Earth?
This was below Gods and Monsters on my list, but yes, I rewatched it today and had a really good time with it. It's stupid, and yes, the CGI is god awful at times, but it's like The Mummy. It's just a great fun time.
This is actually one that I had not seen in a while. I was going to rewatch it for this, but it's currently not on any streaming services for me at the moment. So I want to try and focus on stuff I hadn't seen before. But I'll still give this a slight yes. Diaz, what do you say about Journey to the Center of the Earth?
It's a fun, decent kid family film. I try to save us from going right to the bottom of the battle stuff, but yeah, I say yes. It's a fun, decent family film. I enjoyed these two movies for what it is. Decent, not the way home film, but much better than what you say about a family film back then.
But Chris, we go back to you. What's your next nomination?
Which one do I go for here? I could go for one I actually like. Bedazzled. It's once again, it's just Brendan Fraser being charming and getting tricked by the devil and play. It's one of the few ones where he actually plays like he just plays multiple different roles, and every one of them is different, but they're all still hilarious. And just some of the protection. When he plays the big basketball player and he's sweating, he's going, "I really like that." It's like some of it I just laughed out loud at. So yeah, Bedazzled.
Yeah, I love Bedazzled. I think it's a really fun premise. And Liz Hurley as the devil is just incredible. I wish Liz Hurley would come to my house more often, but not that she's ever been to my house, but you know what I mean. But Bedazzled gets used for me. Diaz, what do you say about Bedazzled?
So this is a film that I think I've seen because my dad had some stuff back on when it came out, on TV. But I will give it a slight yes because I did remember enjoying from what I remember as a kid, but I can't. It's been a long time.
And Zach, what do you say about Bedazzled?
This is another movie that I actually saw for the first time this year, and I'm gonna give it. It's on my list, but it's a very hesitant on my list because while I like Fraser and Hurley and I like the plot, I feel like sometimes it's not executed into the best it could be, but it was still on my list and it still has a lot of good factors to it.
Yeah, but that Bedazzled still makes this list, and we've got 2 spots left. And I'm going to try first. I have no idea how this is going to go, but One of the movies I watched the first time for this is probably a movie that a lot of people really hate because it won Best Picture. I'm bringing up Crash. Look, I think people hate it because it won Best Picture. I don't get the hate for this. This is actually a really well-made movie. Well, yes, the whole racist elements and stuff may not have been handled perfectly in this. But that aside, I still think this is a pretty good movie. I really enjoyed it. Like, it's one of those ones that, Brendan Fraser still has a really minor role in it. Like, he's not a big part of this, but really did like him in this movie, and I think the movie itself was really good. DS, what do you say about Crash?
We got 2 spots left. If we say no to that, we had to go for one hit left in the movie. I think a movie that trying to say a point and it come off wrong. Sometimes I think there are decent elements. I think the Michael Pena stuff is really good. I think the end result in the Matt Dillon thing is good. I don't like where it began. I give it a slight yes because I don't know what else. I didn't get other things to bring up here that I know would get shut down.
Zach, what do you say about Crash?
I think I've only seen this once, and it was near when it came out. And I'm going to give it actually like a slight no. I wasn't a fan of it when I came out, and I don't know how much I would actually go back and rewatch it.
And Chris, what do you say about Crash?
Pretty much on the same side as Zach here. I remember seeing it when it came out, and that's about it. I always get confused with the David Lynch movie, which is a completely different vehicle.
Very different.
And with that, Crash doesn't make this list. Des, we go back to you.
You know what? I did shoot my shot. I know this film get a bad rep, but I think it does have an entertaining stuff to it. I think After Molina is actually a pretty entertaining movie. I do like go with Dudley Do-Right. This is a film from my childhood. I watched this film. Is it dumb? Yeah. But Alfred Molina is really quite funny in the movie. There are funny moments in the film. The dance off scene is really funny. A lot of jokes like the real wolf ghost scene is really funny. Compared to the other family film traits that had left, this is the last worst one. I actually do get enjoyment out of it, and I think it does to stay true to the Dudley Do-Right cartoon the best way. Honestly, a little bit better than Rocket Bullwinkle does. But yeah, I do bring it up. Dudley Do-Right. I know it did get shot down.
Zach, what do you say about Dudley Do-Right?
It's actually funny because I had one more movie on my list, and it was Dudley Do-Right. So that was going to be what I was going to say. So I'm going to give it a yes.
Chris, what do you say about Dudley Do-Right?
I hate to be the dissenter because it sounds funny, but I've never seen it. And there's one that I want to put on the list. So I'm just going to say no purely on that basis.
Oh, I really enjoyed Dudley Do-Right. Look, once again, I'm not 100%, but I think the cartoon this is based on is the same people that did the original what George of the Jungle is based on too. It's just that pretty much same kind of aesthetics. I know it. The character Dudley Do-Right is connected to Rocky and Bullwinkle, most definitely. So I'm not 100% sure, sort of, where this is, but regardless, this is a lot of fun, and it's just one of those ones that, once again, is one that it's also a childhood favorite of mine. And it's just one of those ones that I really watched a lot of time. I didn't get around to rewatching it for this. I was planning on it, but it's still a yes for me. It's going to make this list. Zach, what is the next movie you're going to bring up.
I feel better now knowing that I wanted to be shot down like that.
So it's funny because my list is all completed, and I know Malcolm is not going to like this pick because of something he said earlier, but I'm going with Tomb of the Dragon Emperor.
Oh, no.
Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. I mean, it's something different in terms of mythology, and it's still a Brendan Fraser mummy movie. There's still some fun and entertainment to it. So I'm going to throw it out there.
Chris, what do you say about the Mummy Tomb of the Dragon Emperor?
I'm not quite as bad on it as the other Chris. But yeah, I mean, I appreciate what I was trying to do. You're right enough to take on different mythology. Going to, was it China? Or was it? Yeah, it was China. Yeah. It wasn't bad. It was better than the Scorpion King. But I'm still going to say no.
I wouldn't
sorry,
go that far like that.
I mean, better than the Scorpion King is not a high bar.
I mean,
so I agree with you. I agree with you. Tomb of the Dragon Emperor is definitely better than the Scorpion King. I mean, I have a lot of fun with this. I do think it's pretty good. I think it gets a bit of a bad rap. I mean, Jet Li as the titular Dragon Emperor is just it's one of those things that on paper just doesn't sound like it should work. But that being said, there's a couple movies that are higher up on my list that I kind of want to bring up over this. So I'm going to say no to this. Diaz, tell us why you don't like the movie.
Yeti. I think playing freaking soccer, if I remember the film correctly, that whole secret alone is why I don't like this film. I think is it Michelle Yeoh was in it?
Yeah.
She one of the only good thing about this film. I don't like the new actor that played the son. I don't like a lot of what the film does. I think the humor is really bad. They make Jonathan way more annoying than he was in the other two. His humor usually worked for me. Yeah, no, this is what an awful way to end this series. I hope they come back to do another one. We didn't. The chat changes were really bad. Not to get Maria Bello, she knows which way.
I mean, I think at this point, if they do a fourth one, they would have to get Maria Bello back.
Well, I mean, there is talk of doing like the scrapped Aztec one as a fourth one. So,
I mean, Rachel Weisz did a bigger name now. They might get it back.
I don't know if I can picture Brendan Fraser in that shape anymore. He'd have to get really into shape now.
Yeah, I mean, judging from the end of Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, I think the Aztec one would be the where to logically go. But yeah, and I mean, whether or not they actually do another one is the other thing. I think it's probably one of those ones like, because I know Brendan Fraser said he'd like to do it.
Yeah, he said because the other one, the new one, just wasn't any fun. So
yeah,
that gave me like they're a lot more problem than not being fun with the.
And I mean, and I think it depends on how they do it, because they could do it in a way that that Brendan Fraser is in it, but he's not the one that's actually hunting it down. Like, he's sort of being the mentor to his son, who they would have to recast to age them up to have the old their hair needs to be for this. But anyway,
you wanted a better version of the well, go watch the TV show. The TV show much better.
They did a TV show.
The animated one is really good.
But anyway, Chris, what is your next movie you're going to bring up?
See, I'm with Zach. My list's completed. So do I go with a meme pick, as is tradition, or do I go with an actual good movie? Yeah, let's go with an actual good movie. The Quiet American. It's one I don't think a lot of people have seen. It got really very limited release, and I've not seen it in a while, but I remember the vague story of it, and I remember Michael Caine being in it. It's basically about the American involvement on the Vietnam War and how they secretly got that started. So it's quite anti-American, so I think a lot of people didn't like it, and it was probably panned for that alone. But from what I remember of it, Michael Caine was really good, and so was Brendan Fraser. So yeah, The Quiet American.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have not seen this, so I'm going to say no. Diaz, what to say about The Quiet American?
Firstly, it was something I wanted to watch next because everybody told me and they wanted it's a movie that people consider good. I just get around to seeing it. I wanted to see it because I like his other dramatic, but I like God and Monster a lot. That I want to see this next to see something different from him.
And Zach, what do you say about
I've never even heard of it, and just the sound of it just doesn't appeal to me that much. So I'm just gonna say no.
Should have gone with the meme choice.
We might have to go to the meme.
Maybe not. But like for my next nomination, I'm bringing up Extraordinary Measures. This is the Brendan Fraser movie that he starred in with Harrison Ford. And like this is just a lot of fun. Like it's based on a true story. It's about parents who form a biotechnology company to develop a drug to save the lives of their children who is a life-threatening disease, and it's based on a true story of the John and Eileen Crowley, whose children have Pomp's disease. But it's just a really good movie. Like as I said before, like with comedy actors and going into dramatic movies, it's Brendan Fraser sort of does really well in this. Like, and there's a like this is surprisingly a kind of a bit bit of a stacked cast as well, a little bit. Like you got Brendan Fraser, Harrison Ford, as I mentioned. Kerry Russell's in this. Courtney B. Vance. Alan Ruck from Ferris Bueller's Day Off appears in here.
Yep,
Dee Wallace from ET is also here. So there's a lot of good casts in this, and it's just a movie that popped up on someone's like, I'm going to give this a watch because it's got Brendan Fraser and I need to watch more Brendan Fraser movies this week. And I really enjoyed it. Des, what do you say about
this movie? Not great, but considering where we had left, I do give a slight yes. I think a decent movie. I think it's a little bit over dramatic, but I think the performance for Harrison Ford and Brendan Fraser is really good in the cast itself. So I give it a slight yes.
Zach, what do you say about Extraordinary Measures?
I'm going to give this a slight no, just because it doesn't sound like something that would grab me as much as maybe other movies that would be like the last pick of this could. So just for that, I'm going to give a slight no.
Chris, what do you say about Extraordinary Measures?
I actually completely forgot about this movie. I'm going to give it a yes just because I remember enjoying it.
Thank you.
That's all. I just remember enjoying it, and I think I only went to see it because Harrison Ford was in it when I was younger. It wasn't a Brendan Fraser vehicle. It was more of a Ford movie. But yeah, give it a slight yes.
Yeah. It closes up the list. Just to recap what we've got on this list. Got The Mummy, Encino Man, No Sudden Move, George of the Jungle, Blast from the Past, Airheads, Looney Tunes Back in Action, The Mummy Returns, Journey to the Centre of the Earth, Bedazzled, Dudley Do-Right, and Extraordinary Measures. So I got honorable mentions. Des, what are some honorable mentions that you had?
The only other one I'm going to put up, I don't love this movie. I think a decent family film. I love the book. Incon, the only other thing I could think of. I think there's some element to it. But I do give a shout out. It's not movie, but my favorite performance of Brendan Fraser is Robo Man and Doom Patrol. I think that's by far one of his best performances.
Zach, what are some honorable mentions that you had?
Again, the two I'm going to mention, I think I've heard they're bad, but I mean, they could be just stupid fun. And that's Furry Vengeance and The Nut Job. Again, I haven't seen either of them, but trying to think of other Brendan Fraser movies.
Yeah, people that know me know that I do like some bad movies, but when I say they're bad, then you probably don't want to watch them. Fury Avengers and Nut Job are the two that I was referring to. That I did not want to see anywhere near this list.
How much are you referring to Incon? That way, did it bring Incon up?
But Chris, what are some honorable mentions that you had?
Well, first of all, I like that challenge. I'm going to watch those movies now. Yeah, like Chris Diaz, I have to, not a movie, have to bring up Doom Patrol. He's brilliant in it. And my other two honorable mentions are what I call the unofficial California Man trilogy, where he appears as the same character, son-in-law, and in the army now, both starring Pauly Shore, where he has a very brief appearance as the same character. Sorry, those were my meme picks.
Yeah, I mean, I probably would have said no to them just on the fact that I've not seen them and they're basically cameos. But anyway,
And why did it bring up the other cameo?
But yeah, for me, some of the honorable mentions that I had, I also had Inkart pretty high. There was one that I was going to bring up at one point, and I decided to switch it up because I was worried no one's going to bring up Red Juice back in action.
I don't mind the movie. It's decent. The book is a lot better.
But for me, I also really enjoyed a movie called A Case of You, which is a really good rom-com. And I don't know how, but I actually actually did enjoy Escape from the Planet Earth. It's actually it's surprisingly a lot of fun.
Yeah, but they didn't bring up Monkey Bone with my mention.
Oh God! Thanks for reminding me of that movie.
But some that came up in the honorable mentions here, we've got School Ties.
On my list to watch, that didn't get us watching.
Also has Matt Damon in it.
Mrs. Winterbourne. Yeah, I did watch School Ties for this. I just didn't like it. The Scout, with honors, Passion and Darkling Moon, and Monkey Bone, which I was halfway through, and
it's so bad.
I mean, it's been in there for Revenge on the Nut Job. I'll give it that. I'll give it some credit.
See, I'm kind of like Chris. It's like if you say a movie's bad, I'll watch it because it's like there's some bad movies that I actually enjoy. So
you want to know what Monkey Bone and what the nostalgia critic reviews that you
imagine Cool World but worse.
I haven't seen either, so.
But anyway, now we get on to the voting part of this. So we're going to write down on our board what we want for to be at 12 through to 1.
One list where I only had nothing to be.
Yeah, it's the first time in a while I've had a list where I've actually seen everything. But
and we're doing
Diaz,
12,
what do you?
Right?
Yeah, starting with from 12. Yeah, Diaz, what do you have for number 12?
Yeah, let's get the voice out of it. Encino Man.
Zach,
Extraordinary Measures.
Chris,
Extraordinary Measures. Sorry.
and we've got a tie off the bat because I've got Encino Man. But yeah, so go to the chat if anyone's in the chat. Vote Encino Man or Extraordinary Measures. I will get a reel up ready.
So having a look at the list.
And Brian got in first, and it's going to be Extraordinary Measures. I should have got a banner, a folder up ready to start the banners, but I didn't. But Zach, what do you have for 11?
No Sudden Move.
Chris, what do you have for 11?
I'm actually going to have to change my list and go for No Sudden Move as well.
I've still got Encino Man, Diaz.
Encino Man.
Got another tie. So chat.
Chad.
No sudden move on Encino Man at 11. And I'm going to watch the chat as I get the reel ready. No sudden move.
He did quite fine.
Justice for Encino Man.
Oh, God. This is Suicide Squad all over again.
And the thing is, both of these are in my top 5 Brendan Fraser movies.
Yeah, Notes on the Moon in my top 5 too.
Chris, what do you have for 10?
I've got Dudley Do-Right.
I've still got Encino Man, Diaz,
Encino Man and not changing.
Zach.
Well, it looks like you guys got your wish because my 10 was Bedazzled.
Oh, thank God.
I'm sad now for Encino Man because that was going to be higher on my list.
I'm sad that Encino Man is at 10. It should have been lower.
It should have been last.
So Encino Man is no longer available.
Thank God did it end up like this Suicide Squad all over again. That went up way too high at the final.
But for number 9, I've got Airheads, Diaz,
Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Zach,
Bedazzled.
and Chris.
Dudley Do-Right.
We've got 4-way ties. Junior Senator Encino Man, Dudley Do-Right, Airheads, and Bedazzled. Chat, which is most likely Brian. He's already put something in the chat.
What did he come up with now?
Oh, it was actually Leo as well this time, but both of them did say the same thing. So,
What have we still got on the list?
the good thing about not having to change on board so often, it gives me time to actually write out the titles on the banners. But Zach, what do you have for 8?
I'm still going to go with Bedazzled.
Chris,
Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Airheads, Diaz.
Journey to the Center of the Earth.
That Chris's agree.
Yeah. I heard too many good things about Bedazzled. That might have write it down. Okay. I could put it down now.
Chris, what do you have for 7?
Oh, sorry, me. Looney Tunes back in action.
Airheads,
I changed it
Diaz,
the last minute to Airhead.
and Zach.
It's funny because I actually changed my answer. Looney Tunes back in action.
So chat, Looney Tunes back in action or Airheads at 7. The first one I see will be the decided vote. I'm getting, as always, I'm getting the real prepared.
Yeah, Brian.
But knowing Brian the way I know Brian, I think I know what's going to happen. And yes, Airheads is going to be.
He does what I do to put it ready to make in a comment when it's called upon.
Well, no, it's one of those ones like I mean I knew he wasn't going to go Looney Tunes because I'm pretty sure it's in his top 64 movies of all time.
Jesus Christ. I like the movie, but not like top 6.
Well, yeah, this thing. I know Brian likes Looney Tunes back in action.
I mean, I'm happy it beat out California Man, so it nearly made it halfway.
But
Okay.
just to recap what we've got left, we've got The Mummy, George of the Jungle, Blast from the Past, Looney Tunes Back in Action, The Mummy Returns, and Bedazzled.
Interesting top 6.
Might make my number 1, 2, and 3 pretty easy. Yeah.
But Dares, what do you have for 6?
Bedazzled.
Zach.
Looney Tunes Back in Action.
Chris.
Looney Tunes.
Yeah, Looney Tunes Back in Action.
Yeah, I'm surprised that was that low in your list.
I have to go with the one I haven't seen.
It's just more of the ones that all the ones that are left I've actually got higher.
Yeah. I think I've seen Bedazzled, but I'm not 100% sure.
Shit, what's left?
I've got Mummy Returns, George of the Jungle, Blast from the Past, and Bedazzled. Zach, what do you have?
Bedazzled.
Chris,
George of the Jungle.
The Mummy Returns.
Bedazzled. Okay, did good enough.
Chris, what do you have for 4?
George of the Jungle.
The Mummy Returns.
Yeah, the Mummy Returns.
Zach.
Blast from the Past.
The Mummy Returns is going to be at number 4.
Yeah, the CGI Scorpion King one. Push it at number 4.
In fairness, they've talked about that, and apparently it was a complete rush job.
Which I find is funny when people complain about Marvel and rushing their visual effects. Like, it's not just Marvel that's a case. Dares, what do you have for number 3?
Blast from the Past.
Zach.
Blast from the Past.
Chris.
George of the Jungle.
Blast from the Past.
I already know my top 2. That why I did it.
Yes, we've got
Blast from the Past is going to be number 3. And this time we go for our number 1 as opposed to our number 2.
Is this going to make number 1?
Posted him up good.
And we've got the
I
Mummy.
think we all know
and
what Chris's number 1 is.
No,
What was left?
I mean, to be fair, Chris hasn't talked about tried voting either the Mummy down. So
No, but knowing what he's voted for the last 2.
Your head's going to be my number 1.
well,
I
actually,
realise
yeah,
it's
yeah,
an unpopular
yeah,
choice.
But Zach, what do you have for number 1?
The Mummy.
Chris.
Sorry, I forgot we were doing number 1. Yes, The Mummy.
The Mummy. And there's
Yeah, The Mummy.
Clean sweep.
Yep, which means George Jungle is going to be 2.
I can't believe George of the Jungle made number 2.
I can't believe you tried to vote it lower.
Oh, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad movie. I'm just surprised it beat out some of the other stuff.
But anyway, just to recap, the top 12 Brendan Fraser movies. At 12, got Extraordinary Measures. At 11, we got No Sudden Move. At 10, we got Encino Man. At 9, we got Dudley Do-Right. At 8, we got Journey to the Centre of the Earth. At 7, we've got Airheads. At 6, we got Looney Tunes Back in Action. At 5, we got Bedazzled. At 4, we got The Mummy Returns. At 3, we got Blast from the Past. At 2, we got George of the Jungle. And number 1, we got The Mummy. But it's going to be this is the last ranking of the year. We'll be back on 8th of January with top 12 movies of 2022. But Chris, where can people find you online?
You can find me anywhere, here and there, everywhere. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Have a great holiday, guys. It's been a fun time. Can't wait for next year. Make them stuff.
Zach, where can people find you online?
I do have a YouTube channel that I've been doing actually for 4.5 years now, Movie Fan Z, and I'm on Facebook and Twitter. So,
Chris, where can people find you online?
Just the usual places, pissing about with the movie trivia stuff and these shows and anywhere. If you look up Drunken Prayer online anywhere, you'll find me.
Yeah, and yeah, you can find me normally on Sundays hosting Rankum. But I appear a lot on Movie Network, Full Metal, pretty much anywhere where there's trivia or lists or tournaments or tiers. You can probably find me as well. I just pop up everywhere at the moment, but it's always a lot of fun doing things, and yeah. But with that, that's the end of Rankin for today and this year. See you next year, and yeah.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas,
And until next.
I didn't choose the Scots line. The Scots line chose me.